Broski, super welcome to this video. Guys, the second half of September is jam-packed. It even had surprises that I didn't know of. And these are all shooter games and they look freaking phenomenal. And this guy right here, Slim Bradsky himself, the brutal indie games lover, the boomer shooter dad, the guy who will be stuck in your head until the first time you see one of his videos, is here to introduce the best of the upcoming shooter games in the second half of September. And if you're keen on checking out the first half, well, I got it linked down in the pinned comment. And if you like any part of this video, please hit the like on this video. It really helps to spread it to other wonderful viewers that might enjoy it. So without any further ado, let's go!
And our only hope.
It's finally dropping on Steam, and that also means it's finally time for Slim to play this game. Yep, I haven't played this one yet. Have you? Drop a comment down below, let me know. Now, what is Witchfire? Well, it's a first-person shooter game developed by the Astronauts, who consists of former Painkiller and Bulletstorm developers. In other words, it has to be good, right? It just has to. Now, in Witchfire, we get to play as a witch hunter in this dark fantasy world filled with strange things out to kill you and stop you on your final mission to salvation. And from my understanding, this game is a roguelite. You jump into fairly big semi-open world areas, you kill, you loot, and you complete missions for as long as you dare to before heading back to the sanctuary to upgrade and become even stronger. And of course you want to become stronger so that when you jump back in you can make it even further, just as any other roguelite. But what I really want to find out is how well these semi-open world areas work. How is the mission structure and combat? So in other words, stay tuned for a Witchfire stream and review on the channel. Witchfire releases on the 23rd of September for Steam. Is so fantastically weird and unique. It's a game that focuses heavily on the atmosphere, the psychological bits of being alone in a megastructure. But it's not a slow-paced game in that sense. Sure, there isn't a whole lot of combat in this one, but there is a whole lot of tension and actions required from the player, which I find very refreshing. I mean, I love me a tense and mysterious atmosphere, and this seems to hit that really right. It's a climb all game, meaning that you can climb anything with your two pickaxes. Literally, your main task is to climb, and then climb some more until you eventually have to jump, run, and even sneak around. Now in the game we play as an android who is leaving his home colony while tracking a mysterious glitch. We found ourselves in the midst of a vast and dangerous structure, completely hidden from our people's knowledge. Unable to go back, we must keep going to find out where we're being led and why we actually left in the first place. It's going to be a challenging ride, this game, no doubts about that. Luckily though, it's not going to be that punishing. This game is filled with fair checkpoints that won't take you far back at all. And it is completely up to you if you want to play this game as a speedrunner or actually a slow person like myself and take in the sights. Lawrence Lure releases on the 20th of September on Steam. The Lethal Company hype is not over, friends. Skyward Extraction takes the same formula but makes it its own thing, set at the highest peak of the highest mountain, with floating islands and flying ships. Your goal is to complete contracts from the Ranadine Empire, but most of all, find loot while doing so. And with that loot, you buy new equipment and upgrade your ship to get further and further into the treasure-filled storm. And some really cool standout features of the game is procedurally generated maps, dungeons, and events for infinite replayability, permanent character progression, proximity voice chat, co-op multiplayer, dozens of unique pieces of equipment. And while all of that sounds fun and very Lethal Company-like, what really gets me going with Skyward Extraction that releases on the 25th of September is its setting high in the sky. The 5 crew members of the Tulpar are stranded in the empty reaches of space, shrouded in perpetual sunset. God is not watching while you play this atmospheric narrative-driven horror game where you should expect the unexpected, as you cannot even trust your very own eyes. This is not your standard horror game at all. This is not your standard game at all. This is something slow, twisted, and surreal to say the least. You will be walking slow in the halls of your spaceship as you weather starvation, isolation, and each other. Now the captain of the ship left you all to die a slow death, and it all happens on the 26th of September for Steam and itch.io. Sun and Bone, the game that is all about dinos, guns, and aliens. What a perfect combination if you ask me. Far too few modern titles do this combination anymore, but something really bad is that I actually missed this one in my first half of September video, so my apologies broskis. Now the reason that I missed it is because it is a PS5 and Epic Games exclusive. Yeah, you heard that right. And I just want to make it clear, I won't miss out on a good game just because it's only Epic. I don't care all that much about the platform, I care more about the game. But it got lost in the swarm of awesome games thanks to that. So in Sun and Bone, things get wild and crazy when a local farm in Patchwork MT is attacked by a group of notorious bandits. Sheriff Sam Judge sets out to bring them to justice by any means necessary and save the hostage that they have taken. But on his journey through the mysterious motives of those he pursues, Sam finds himself transported to another world, overrun with prehistoric creatures, dinosaurs, and now must fight for his life to make it back to Earth. And the game combines the good from the old with the modern and new. As an example, it is a quite fast-paced game, and there is no reload on the weapons, and bloody hell, it looks like a good time. So go grab it today over at Epic Games or PlayStation 5. Now I wanna bet that you didn't know about this awesome looking boomer shooter. It's a boomer shooter made with no other engine than the infamous GC Doom engine. I honestly hadn't even heard about this standalone GC Doom game until I started researching for this video, which has me a bit surprised since it looks pretty dang awesome if you ask me. And I usually keep very good track of these types of games. So what is it then? Well, Borough Helen is a 90s style first-person shooter set in a fantastical realm like no other. As the brilliant scientist Ordin Gilbelt, you dive into battle against cultists and mythical creatures, wielding powerful, unique and magical weapons. And while it is built on the GC Doom engine, its goal is to have the build engine level of interactivity a la Blood and Duke Nukem, which to me sounds freaking perfect, and GC Doom is more than capable of delivering that. Now apart from all the great things I already mentioned, I have to say that I really like the blend of magic and weird weapons. It looks like a really fun mix to play around with, and I also really like the mix of both cultist enemies and mythical creatures. It gives me some Blood meets Lords of the Ring vibes, which is not something I dislike at all. Borough Helen is out on September 25th for Steam. The horror games are slowly building up for October, my friends, but fear not. I will only showcase the best indie ones, the ones that are worth keeping an eye out for, and Zero Protocol is definitely one of those. It takes the boomer shooter gameplay and graphics that looks chef's kiss good by the way, and then puts those elements in an old school Resident Evil style first-person shooter. And that sounds pretty neat, right? Well, that's because it is. While there will be a lot of shooting in this game, there is a lot more to it than just that, offering both a horror atmosphere, a non-linear storyline, inventory management, and of course, puzzles. And honestly, the puzzles are what scares me the most, more than the actual horror of this game. Hopefully, they're not too impossible to solve. But hey, we can find out if they are or if they aren't on the 26th of September on Steam. Okay, listen to this. Explore a cyberpunk universe where monkeys rule. Challenge the fearsome cyber monkeys as you take on the role of a hero armed with a living shark weapon. Yep, you do not have to rewind the video, you heard that absolutely right. The monkeys, they rule. And we got a living shark as a weapon. Now that's the definition of a crazy game if you ask me. A crazy but also good looking game. I mean, look at these pixels, they're clean with sick and crazy designs that just speaks to me in such a beautiful way. I really like the overall design and absolutely crazy characters that this game has rockin'. But not only does the game look insanely good, it seems like a ton of fun to play as well. It's a bullet hell game, so expect a lot of bullets, but it also mixes top-down action with side-scrolling. And it sure looks like there will be some walking, some talking and flying in this marvelous pixel art cyberpunk world on the 24th of September for Steam.
This is our war. It's time to gear up, soldier.
Zombies, hordes of zombies, building bases. Yep, that's a 4-player co-op zombie slaying, base building, boss battling mayhem. In Ultimate Zombie Defense 2, god I love that name. Hold up, before I explain what this game is, we have seen so many horde zombie shooters come and go. Some good, a lot of them really bad, but my hopes, they are pretty high for this one. It has a demo out that you can play now and it features some sick looking weapons that can be upgraded, tons of different zombies and base building that actually works. All of it just feels well implemented and it's a wild mix of things. It actually reminds me a little bit of OG Fortnite in a sense, but it's simply well executed and works as a fun game. And some of you might actually have heard about this name before and think that I'm way off here, but I'm not. The first game in this series was actually a top-down shooter. This time around, they took it a step further and made it a first-person shooter. And you can experience the demo right now or wait for its drop on the 27th of September over at Steam. Okay, now this one can almost be seen as a little bonus game. There isn't a whooping lot to say about it other than you play in an arena. You have one weapon, that is a saw blade. And your goal is to survive for as long as possible to get the highest score on the leaderboard. In other words, it's a bite-sized game in the style of Devil Daggers, but with a new coat. And you can experience that new coat on the 27th of September on Steam. Did anyone say Vampire Survivors? Well, assemble a limitless arsenal in this survive-em-up roguelite shooter. As a gun manufacturer's testing force, your mission is simple. Test the latest gun tech and scavenge alien planets. Collect insane weapon parts to invent crazy guns that slay thousands. You may not survive, but your guns will. Sounds and looks like a damn good Vampire Survivors-like with some sweet pixel art and VFX effects. And why do I say that? Well, I mean, take the addicting gambling mechanics of Vampire Survivors, add in some good-looking pixel art and sweet VFX effects, and you could easily get lost in the game for hours upon hours on September the 30th for Steam.
War, famine, destruction, death. The year is 20XX. Welcome to the future.
Extraction shooter, you say? Instantly, that throws me off just a little bit, but not with this game, my friends. Oh no, this one actually looks phenomenally good. It will be dropping into early access on the 24th of September for PC, and their early access announcement is one of the best that I have ever seen. It's 5 minutes long, so I won't show it to you here, but in short, they announced that they will listen to feedback, update the game and all that stuff that we always hear, but they also emphasize that no form of microtransactions will be involved, and that is extra cool because this game has heavy focus on customization, upgrades, grinding for loot and resources and so on. So to me, that is an extra plus in the book when a sort of a live service game heavily bashes microtransactions and promises that we will see none of it in their game. So you might be asking, what the hell is the game, Slim? Well, The Forever Winter is a co-op tactical survival horror shooter where you and your squad must loot the dead to survive under the shadow of a terrifying and gargantuan war machine locked in a never-ending conflict, all by scavenging for loot to upgrade yourself and get stronger, faster and more deadly. Another beautiful pixel art game. Gosh, I just love how the pixel art games are just getting more wilder and crazier, and most of all, gorier. Just adds such a nice new layer to them and really helps me in finding an interest, judging from trailers and information alone. Now, Iron Meat is a run-and-gun arcade shooter that immerses players in an apocalyptic future of Run by the Meat, an iron ravenous mass mutating everything in its path. Blast your way through retro-inspired stages and bosses to uncover the shocking horror behind secret experiments on the moon on September the 26th on Steam. Broski, thank you a million times for watching all the way to the end. You know I think you're awesome and you know that I love you. You freaking If I could kiss you right now, I would. Maybe not on the mouth, but on the forehead at least. That's how awesome you are. Yep. Again, thank you for watching all the way to the end, and I will see you in the next one. Slim, over and out.